Imagine you're a scientist. You've spent years studying animal cognition, rats, dolphins, chimpanzees, creatures whose intelligence you can map, predict, even relate to. Then one day, you reach into a tank, and something reaches back, not in a panicked, reflexive way. Deliberately, it wraps one arm around your wrist, tilts what passes for a head in your direction, and holds your gaze. And in that moment, every assumption you ever made about where intelligence begins and ends dissolves. What you are looking at is not a fish. It is not an insect. It is not anything evolution was supposed to produce. It has 3 hearts, blue blood, 9 brains, and the ability to become invisible in under a second. It can open child-proof containers, recognize individual human faces, pick locks, plan ambushes, and dream. It has been doing all of this for over 300 million years. Long before the first dinosaur drew breath. Long before the first tree grew roots. And it has been watching us from the deep. This is the octopus. Before we dive into the abyss together, and trust me, what's down here will genuinely change the way you see life on this planet. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Every single week we go deep into the strange, the terrifying, and the awe-inspiring corners of the natural world. You don't want to miss where we're going next. Now, let's go. Let's start with something that will recalibrate your understanding of what a body can be. The octopus has no skeleton, no rigid architecture, no bones, nothing. It is, essentially, a muscular bag of seawater wrapped around a mind so alien that neuroscientists are still arguing about what to call it. The only hard structure in its entire body is a small beak, shaped like a parrot's, hidden where its arms meet, which it uses to crush shells and inject venom. Every square centimeter of that soft, boneless body can compress and contort. An adult octopus the size of a basketball can squeeze through any opening wider than its beak, which is roughly the size of a bottle cap. Researchers have watched them escape through pipes barely an inch across, writhing through in slow motion like something from a nightmare. But here's where it gets stranger. An octopus doesn't just have one brain. It has 9. One central brain, located between its eyes, and then one smaller brain in each of its 8 arms. Those arms don't simply receive commands from the central brain and execute them. They think independently. An arm that has been surgically removed from an octopus will continue to reach for food, respond to touch, and move with purpose for up to an hour. The arm doesn't know it's no longer part of a body. It just keeps going. 2/3 of an octopus's neurons aren't in its head at all. They live in its arms. Which means if you ask where an octopus thinks, the answer is everywhere at once. And the blood. Oh, the blood. It's blue. Not metaphorically. Not slightly blue-tinted. Vivid, electric blue, because instead of iron-based hemoglobin like ours, an octopus uses a copper-based protein called hemocyanin to carry oxygen. This adaptation works particularly well in cold, low-oxygen environments, which makes perfect sense for a creature that evolved in the deep ocean. But it also means an octopus pumped full of adrenaline bleeds something that looks less like a living thing and more like a science fiction prop. 3 hearts pump that blue blood. 2 gill hearts push it through the gills. 1 systemic heart pushes it everywhere else. And when an octopus swims, using jet propulsion, blasting water through its body, that systemic heart actually stops. Stops completely. Which is why octopuses tend to prefer crawling to swimming. Swimming is exhausting in a way that's almost literally cardiac. Now, let's talk about the thing that makes the octopus genuinely terrifying. It can disappear. Not slowly. Not partially. Completely, instantaneously, and with an accuracy that makes military camouflage look like a child's watercolor painting. The skin of an octopus is covered in millions of tiny organs, chromatophores, which contain pigment sacs that expand and contract in milliseconds, iridophores, which reflect and refract light using crystal-like plates, and papillae, muscular bumps that can be raised or flattened to replicate textures. Smooth sand, jagged rock, waving coral, barnacled wood. An octopus doesn't just change color. It changes color, pattern, texture, shape, and light-reflective quality simultaneously, in under 200 milliseconds. That's faster than a human eye can consciously track. And this is where things get philosophically dizzying. Octopuses are colorblind. Every single species tested so far. The photoreceptors in their eyes only detect one wavelength of light. They should, by every law of optics we know, be incapable of matching colors with any real precision. And yet they do it perfectly, matching not just browns and greens, but the subtle pinkish-orange of a specific species of coral at a specific depth in specific light conditions. Scientists have theorized that octopuses may see color through their skin itself, that the photoreceptors distributed across their entire body surface allow them to sample the colors around them and replicate them directly, bypassing vision entirely. They might, in effect, see with their whole body, every inch of them reading the world. There is a species, the mimic octopus, the Octopus mimicus, that takes this further than seems biologically credible. It doesn't just blend into its environment. It impersonates other animals. When threatened, it stretches its arms to replicate the silhouette and movement of a flatfish. It buries 6 arms and waves the remaining 2 in the distinctive undulating motion of a sea snake. It flattens its mantle and extends its arms in a starburst pattern to mirror the spiny, venomous lionfish. It doesn't do this randomly. It chooses. Researchers have noticed that when threatened by damselfish, which have a particular fear of lionfish, the mimic octopus specifically performs its lionfish impression. It reads the threat. It selects the most effective disguise. It executes it in real time. There is a species, the mimic octopus, the Octopus mimicus, that takes this further than seems biologically credible. It doesn't just blend into its environment. It impersonates other animals. When threatened, it stretches its arms to replicate the silhouette and movement of a flatfish. It buries 6 arms and waves the remaining 2 in the distinctive undulating motion of a sea snake. It flattens its mantle and extends its arms in a starburst pattern to mirror the spiny, venomous lionfish. It doesn't do this randomly. It chooses. Researchers have noticed that when threatened by damselfish, which have a particular fear of lionfish, the mimic octopus specifically performs its lionfish impression. It reads the threat. It selects the most effective disguise. It executes it in real time. When they catch their prey, they deploy their arms to envelop it completely. The suckers, which can each exert significant individual force and contain chemoreceptors that allow the octopus to taste whatever they're touching, latch on with mechanical precision. Then comes the beak. And the venom. Every octopus species produces venom. Every one. They synthesize it in their salivary glands and inject it through their beak, using it to subdue prey and, in some species, to begin digestion externally before the meal is even brought inside. The venom of most species is only mildly dangerous to humans, painful, but not lethal. Most species. Then there is the blue-ringed octopus. Found in the tidal pools and reefs of the Pacific and Indian Oceans, it is smaller than the palm of your hand. It is extraordinarily beautiful, pale yellowish-white, covered in intricate blue rings that pulse with iridescent color. When it is calm, those rings are faint, almost invisible. When threatened, they blaze. A warning, a declaration. The venom it produces, tetrodotoxin, is one of the most potent neurotoxins found in any animal. There is no antivenom. A bite delivers a dose capable of killing 26 adult humans. The creature carrying it weighs less than a baseball. The horror of blue-ringed octopus envenomation is that the toxin causes complete paralysis while leaving the victim fully conscious. You feel everything. You simply cannot move, cannot breathe, cannot signal distress. Survival depends entirely on someone noticing quickly and performing manual ventilation until the toxin metabolizes, a process that can take hours. Several people have died picking up blue-ringed octopuses on beaches. They didn't know what they were holding. The octopus was calm. The rings were faint. It was small and soft and strange and beautiful. And then it wasn't. For all this power, for all this intelligence, for all this evolutionary triumph, the octopus lives an extraordinarily brief life. Most species survive only 1 to 2 years. The giant Pacific octopus, the largest species, capable of reaching arm spans of over 14 feet and weights exceeding 70 pounds, lives perhaps 3 to 5 years at most. And it spends much of that time alone. Octopuses are almost entirely solitary. They build dens from rocks and shells, maintaining them with what can only be described as aesthetic preference. Some individuals have been observed repeatedly rearranging objects outside their dens in ways that seem to serve no practical function. They orient objects a certain way. They place specific shells in specific positions. Whether this constitutes something like preference, something like expression, no one can say with certainty. But it happens consistently enough that researchers have started taking notes. Their reproduction is perhaps the most emotionally devastating chapter of their biology. When a female octopus is ready to reproduce, she finds a male and engages in what is, for both participants, one of the most dangerous encounters of their lives. Males have a specialized arm called a hectocotylus, modified to transfer sperm packets, which they insert into the female's mantle. In some species, this arm can detach and remain inside the female. The male, now missing a limb and thoroughly exhausted, often dies shortly after. The female retreats to her den and lays her eggs, sometimes tens of thousands of them, attaching them to the walls and sealing in delicate, translucent strings. And then she does something that will break your heart if you let it. She stays. For weeks, sometimes months, she remains in that den and does almost nothing except tend her eggs. She aerates them by blowing water across them with her arms. She cleans them, removing algae and parasites with delicate, constant attention. She defends them from every predator that approaches, regardless of size. She does not eat. Not once. She has enough energy reserves to sustain her through the vigil, and she uses every gram of it for her eggs. The giant Pacific octopus has been documented brooding for up to 53 months, 4.5 years, the longest known brooding period of any animal. By the time her eggs hatch, she has spent herself completely. She is starving, depleted, dying. She lives just long enough to see her young emerge and drift away into the current. And then she is gone. She will never know what her children became. They will never know her. They are born solitary, and they will live solitary, and they will die alone. There is something in that story that resists easy interpretation, something that sits uncomfortably between biology and feeling. Call it what you will. In 2019, a researcher named Silvia Medeiros at the Federal University of Rio Grande do Norte in Brazil filmed something no one had seen before. An octopus, asleep in a tank, began to change. Its skin flashed white, then dark, then pale yellow. Patterns rippled across its mantle like weather moving across a landscape. Its arms curled and uncurled. Its suckers contracted and released. The display lasted for roughly a minute. Then the animal returned to stillness. And then it happened again. Medeiros believed, and subsequent researchers have taken seriously the possibility, that what she witnessed was an octopus dreaming, playing back the patterns and textures of its day in some private, internal visual theater, reliving the hunt, replaying the den. We don't know for certain. We may never know. Octopus consciousness is so different from vertebrate consciousness, organized so differently, expressed so differently, that the tools we've built to measure and understand minds may simply not apply. But consider this. If an octopus can hold a grudge, play with objects, recognize individual faces, plan ambushes, tend its young with desperate devotion, and perform complex camouflage based on strategic calculation, what exactly is the argument that it doesn't have something like an inner life? The philosopher Peter Godfrey Smith, who has spent years diving with octopuses and writing about their cognition, describes the encounter of meeting an octopus as meeting another kind of mind. Not a lesser mind, not a simpler mind, a different mind, a mind that evolved separately over hundreds of millions of years on a completely different branch of life's tree and arrived somewhere remarkably close to where we are. That is either the most humbling thing science has ever discovered, or the most terrifying, depending on how you look at it. The ocean covers over 70% of this planet's surface. We have mapped less than 20% of it. In the portions we have explored, we have found creatures that reshape every assumption we hold about intelligence, consciousness, life, and what it means to be a mind in a body. The octopus was there before us. It will almost certainly still be there, in some form, evolved into something we haven't imagined yet, long after we are gone. 300 million years of survival, 9 brains, 3 hearts, a body that can become invisible, a mind that can hold grudges and dream and play and grieve in its own way, and a lifespan so brief it seems almost unbearably unfair for something so aware. The next time you stand at the edge of the ocean, or even just sit quietly and think about what lives beneath that surface, Remember that you share this planet with something that looks at the world through 8 arms and 1,000 suckers and a pair of eyes that evolved independently of yours, and somehow, improbably, impossibly, sees something very much like what you see. The alien was never coming from space. It was always right here, in the dark, in the deep, watching,